with extreme detail.
Well, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Live from the Sheraton Hotel. Welcome to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin, Week 6. I'm Rob Hipp, your show host. Again, thanks for joining us. The Pirates are coming off their second loss in a row this past Saturday as they fell to Sul Ross 9-21. We'll quickly look over some highlights, though. We do have some this week. Please look at the screen and join us. We'll be right back after the highlights.
Johns will drop back, scans to his left, fires to his left. It's intercepted. Coming up with it for the Pirates is Hayden Smith. A keeper for Landry Gilpin across the 25 to the 20 to the 15. Sutter steps to the 10 and is out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Landry Gilpin doing it with his feet, picking up the first down on 3rd and 19. Ertz already made a 23-yarder, 10 yards further out. Will get this one the distance and the accuracy to make it a 6-0 lead. Pirates. Ertz sends this one away and it is good just over the crossbar.
And welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Just a little bit of highlights there. Southwestern 2-2 overall. They're 1-2 in ASC conference play. The Southwestern University defense in the first half dominated, shut it out Sul Ross in that first half, but Southwestern could not find any separation in that second half. It was a season low of offense, 210 yards. Sul Ross ran for 184. They passed for 95. Coach, we won't harp on it too much, but another tough loss this past Saturday. The defense held the Lobos to 64 yards of total offense, only 3 first downs in that first half, also forced 2 turnovers. You know, we'll get started. Let's talk about some of the positive highlights in this one before we get started and dig into it.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep it positive, Coach. There in that first half.
It was a tough game, and of course our first half defense was very solid, and it was not a fully loaded group. The problem we ran into is in the second half we got to our backups and some of the backups, and it didn't go as well. And so in the first half, Coach Kriesel supplied me with this information. They ran the same formation 10 times and gained 11 yards. And then in the second half, when we got into some of our depth and the depth behind the depth, they ran the same formation 4 times and gained 160 yards. Guys couldn't line up right. They didn't know where they're supposed to be. And, of course, things don't work out very well. And there wasn't a whole lot to write home about offensively. We struggled to communicate. We struggled to get our plays in. We struggled to run the ball. We struggled to throw the ball. And we missed 2 early opportunities to get touchdowns that turned into field goals. And the game probably is very different if we can hop up 14-0. that may change things a whole lot going through the afternoon.
Well, Southwestern not able to find any separation, though, in the second half. The team, of course, battling a lot of injuries, though. Coach, talk about that second half and those injuries. That's been a really thing that's just hampering right now for Southwestern here through 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say? We got down to our fourth-string quarterback, our last quarterback on the roster. We've moved some players that have played quarterback in high school are going to now be playing quarterback for us the rest of the season. And we're down to, for this game, at least 6, probably 7 defensive starters out, a whole bunch of offensive starters out as well. It's just a weird deal. So hopefully things are going to normalize, and we can go through the last 6 games of our season with who we have and allow those guys to get repetitions. But it's a tough situation, and so it's revealing who we are as individuals in terms of our ability to handle adversity and deal with things and dig down and look at what we can do as individuals versus point fingers. And so adversity reveals character, and it's a great life lesson for our football team. We're not where we thought we would be after 2 games. We had some early injuries. We had some early conduct things where we had to remove some folks, but we felt like we were in good shape. And then you start losing quarterbacks, and you start losing we've lost 5 linebackers, and they were all juniors. And that's a big loss. You just start losing all these pieces. We've lost several defensive backs. It just gets really hard, and so we just have to be diligent and stick with it, and no one's going to feel sorry for us except ourselves, so that means it's not worth doing. So onward we go.
Well, Coach, what did you tell the team after the loss?
I don't remember. Ask these guys.
We'll ask them.
Yeah, the toughest thing is when you have a tough day like this. I mean, you try to work past it and get over it and move forward, and then you got to come back on Thursday, like 5 days later, and rehash it. So, I don't remember a whole lot about what we talked about. I remember more from after our TLU game. I think everybody knows the situation. I mean, what do you do? We're going to keep playing and we're going to keep fighting, but it's really hard when you're missing as many guys. We're not the football team that we were going to be. It is what it is. You just go and play. There really probably wasn't a whole lot that needed to be said or had to be said. We're as a group, we're either going to continue to fight or we're not. And we're going to continue to go and play with the guys that want to battle and the guys that want to fight and want to be a part of what we're doing. The long-term things, we talked about this again, is all these young guys that are playing, they're going to be seniors in 4 years, and they'll have played a lot of football. And we went through this phase before where you play a lot of young guys, and then they end up being really good when they get older. And if you're looking for a silver lining, I guess that's what it is. It's not much silver lining for our seniors because this is not the season they expected to have, and it's not the season I wanted for them to have either. But it's who we are. It's where we are as a football team within this season. So you deal with it and you go forward.
Well, Coach, the perfect line. You deal with it, you go forward. That's it for the first segment. I told you we're going to stay. We're not going to stay too back in the past. We're going to look ahead to the future.
Let's talk to some of these players.
We'll talk to the players and get them up here in just a few minutes. But folks, stay with us. SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin continues in just a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Please welcome Grant Mitchell, the junior defensive tackle. Welcome, man. Good to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Good to have you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Been a great day today as far as the weather, getting a little bit hot, but things are cooling off. You looking forward to that cool weather?
Yes, definitely.
And I don't know, and we'll talk about Jackson, Mississippi coming up, Belhaven, of course. I don't know if it's going to be – it's got to be cooler there, though, than here.
I checked the weather, about 60 degrees.
There you go, man. So, see, you may have an extra little job opportunity as a meteorologist. You're already checking the weather, making sure we're good, man.
Got to be prepared.
Well, a junior from Houston, Texas. Is it Made Creek High School?
Yes, it is, Made Creek High School.
Made Creek High School. What are you majoring in, man?
It's funny you say that. I'm actually thinking about two different things. I'm kinesiology right now, but I might go to psychology.
Awesome. Okay. Family, you have a brother?
Yes, I do.
Talk a little bit about your brother, man.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. That's all I can really say about him. We're practically the same. People say we look like twins, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Cameron Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell. So we'll say hello to Cameron tonight, man. We appreciate you bringing him up. Yeah, talk about your journey here at Southwestern. You've been here for a while. It's great to see the growth. You're a junior now. Talk a little bit about your journey so far and what you've liked about it and some of the highlights, man.
I love Southwestern, and coming here was kind of it wasn't one of my immediate plans or anything like that, but I ended up stumbling across it, and it's fantastic. Coming in for football in the beginning, I came in thinking I was going to be better than than I guess I was. They really showed me that collegiate is way different than high school, but it's been a journey. I've put on a little bit of weight since the beginning and really stuck through, and I think that I'd like to say I like where I've ended up so far.
Awesome. And how did you get to Southwestern, man?
It's funny you say that. I talked to my career counselor back in high school, and they were like, well, you've been talking about going into PT and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's what I've been looking forward to. And they were like, Southwestern's a great school for that. And I was like, okay. I peeked around. I looked at the campus. I saw everything. I saw there was a football opportunity here, and I was like, I guess that's where I'm going to go.
Well, you talked about, putting on a little bit of weight. There's nothing wrong with that because when you're playing football, the weight is handled correctly. When you're in my position and you're not doing anything and you're putting on weight, that's not good, man. So no hard feelings on that. Another tough loss like last week. We don't want to harp on it. I'm just going to ask you one question. Your thoughts on last week?
It's like I said, it's a hard one, but honestly, I'm ready to get by it. It's I'm focused on Belhaven right now. I'm gonna try and do the best that I can for our seniors and everybody else because I feel like I have an important role in the team, and I want to go ahead and fulfill that role for everybody.
There's a lot of injuries on the team, not maybe as plagued as much with the guys up front on the defense. What has that been like this year? A lot of adjustments, but some of the core of that defense is still there. Talk a little bit about that with us.
Well, up front, I feel like we're still very solid. I mean, all the starters are still fine. We're still, working our butts off trying to do whatever we can to help, and we try to focus on not harping on everybody else. We know that football's a contact sport and people get hurt, so it's like you can't get upset with people because they're hurt, and you can't get frustrated with how the team is going because of these injuries, because that it's not their fault and that they're trying their best to get back. So.
Well, your role on the team, of course, on the defense, talk about your role and really where you feel like you fit in.
I eat blocks. That's my main thing. They told me coming in. I remember on my first visit here, I thought I was going to be a defensive end, and I sat down in the meeting room with Coach Creasel, and he said, raise your hand if you're going to be a defensive end. I raised my hand, and he was like, no, you're not. You're going to be a defensive tackle. So I kind of knew from the beginning what my role was going to be. But I like what I do. I think that it's the dirty work, but you can really – I feel like I do make a difference on the defense. As long as I stay true, I stay gap sound and things like that, then I feel like I do my job and I help the team out. And that's what I've been looking forward to.
So, you said you raised your hand. You thought you were going to be defensive end. You moved to defense. Is that going to skew you now from ever raising your hand again with somebody?
Well, it's not to go way back, but it's also funny. Back in junior high, I raised my hand because someone asked, does anyone know how to play on the line? We need somebody on the line right now. And I was actually a linebacker. I was like, oh, I'll do it. The coaches say they need it, and never gone back to linebacker. stayed on the line since then. So
the lesson is, who doesn't want to win $1 million? Raise your hand, and then you'll win $1 million, man. So, well, as we continue to talk to Grant Mitchell, the junior defensive tackle, what have you noticed so far about the team this year? Of course, the injuries, but in a positive sense, what have you noticed about the team this year?
We're a big family. We're a bunch of knuckleheads at this point. When I first came in, I was worried because I came from a school where everybody was friends, but they weren't a family necessarily. And I came in and I was hoping that this school would be different, and immediately it was. I made friends first day. You know, I still like have all of those friends. It's not like it's like they've gone anywhere or anything like that. We're all still really close friends. We all hold each other accountable and things like that. And I think that that's a great thing that's been going on with our team so far.
Regarding your play, you know, and we've talked about that already, just the front there, you guys have been together. That hasn't been really injury plagued, but where do you feel that you can improve on?
I would have to say my movement, my speed, things like that. I've known for kind of a while that I'm the power defensive tackle, that kind of thing. And so it's something that I've been slowly trying to prove on. You know, you can work on your feet, you can work on your hand placement, but, you know, you got to work on your speed as well so you can get into the positions to help out the team.
You know, college, you still got another year. You're a junior. Where do you want to be after college, man?
Oh, that's another question. It goes it goes all the way back to this major thing. I definitely know that I want to go to grad school and see what I can do. I'm actually thinking if all goes well, I could end up I could double major in kinesiology and psychology, end up being a sports psychologist.
Awesome, man. We'll
So
give a round of
congrats
applause
for
for that. I
that.
think that's good, man. So, well, hey, hitting not flying, busing to Jackson, Mississippi. What are you looking forward to on that trip? Maybe what are you not looking forward to on that? I always ask the positive one. Well, I'll ask you, what are you looking forward to? Maybe what are you not looking forward to on the trip, man?
Oh, I made that trip once before, and it was something else. I guess I'm looking forward to the camaraderie. In the beginning, it's going to be camaraderie. I guess towards the end, it's going to be a lot of, hey, let's be quiet so we can go to sleep, things like that. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the team, I guess, kind of bonding. Not much you can do in those 9 hours except for talk to each other. So.
And I was kidding. You don't have to answer what are you not looking forward to. Coach is still here, so we won't answer that one. Well, hey, man, I ask this every week to every player. Now, what does it mean to you to be a Southwestern Pirate?
I guess it means to be loving. And, that's one of the big things. It's actually one of our codes, is to be loving, to be just not necessarily, just for one person or for, I guess, a group of people. Love everybody, and that's kind of the big thing that's been hammered into me here at Southwestern.
Awesome, man. Camera right here on you. Who do you want to send a shout-out to tonight, young man?
I'd have to say my mom and also a buddy, Keyshawn Castle. It's his birthday today.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Keyshawn, and hello to your mom, man. Let's give him a round of applause. Appreciate you, Grant. I'm gonna say something though. When Grant he came over, he's like, man, I'm a little bit nervous. I said, Grant, I'm nervous every time I do these shows. I've been doing it for a long time and doing so. You did great, man. Let's give him a round of applause again. I think you did great.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we'll step aside for just a moment. When we come back, we'll interview another player. Stay with us. This is SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. We'll be right back in a few moments. Well, welcome back to SU Football Weekly. Appreciate you guys being here. How are you doing tonight? Everybody enjoying everything tonight? Round of applause. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. May ask Jim Wilson to get up here in a minute. I'm just kidding, Jim. He always says, Rob, don't say my name. Hey, well, I'm here with Will Spalding, the senior offensive lineman. Let's welcome Will. Good to have you tonight, man. Thank you for being here.
Good to be here.
Well, Will, you know, this season you've been battling some injuries as well. You were out there last week. You know, talk about this season so far and just those early injuries, man.
So, you know, we face it every year. You know, it's a hard sport, very physical. You know, nothing out of the ordinary to be banged up. We're kind of a smaller team than most other programs. You know, we give everyone a chance to play. Got around 100 guys on the roster while some other teams have 200. So, you know, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time because, you know, everyone gets that chance to move up and have their shot. But at the same time, you know, whenever someone goes down, next guy got to pick it up.
Well, hey, a senior, Kingwood, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. You went to Houston. I was trying to sound like Sean Connery. Houston Christian High School. That's kind of a tongue twister. Say that real quick. How do you say it?
Houston Christian High School.
It's so easy, man. Houston Christian High School. Majoring in education, if I'm not mistaken. Minoring in history still?
Yes, that's right.
Awesome, man. You were on the ASC All-Academic team in 2017, the Director of Athletics Academic Excellence Award in 2018. And 2 siblings. You're also pursuing well, first talk about your siblings, man.
So I actually have 3 siblings.
3, okay.
Oh, yeah. So I've got my oldest brother is Brandon. He's got 2 kids. I love them, my niece and my nephew, starting school. Got an older sister, Brianna. She got married 2 years ago. Helped them move into a house. And then, you know, my brother's getting married on the same day as UMHB game. So, you know, that'll be bittersweet. I'm going to love supporting my brother at the wedding, but I'm probably going to be watching the game on my phone.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, you're pursuing student teaching as well. I think that's very admirable. Talk to us about that. What has that been like, and really where are you looking to be with that, man?
So it's been a really credible experience. You know, I missed a little bit of camp, but, man, it's great. I absolutely love it. Out there Tuesdays and Thursdays with the kids, working with 10th graders this year. And, you know, I've been teaching about once a week, and I love it. I'm no place I'd rather be. Hopefully after graduation, I'll go back home to Houston Christian High School.
Awesome. He looked at me because the way I said that earlier. So see, we're building rapport up here. Well, I appreciate you, man. You know, growing up in Houston, you played ball down there. What was that like? Tell us a little bit about your journey in high school and eventually how it led you here to Southwestern. Yeah,
so I went to public school for most of my life, and then eventually switched over to transfer to Houston Christian. There I started at left guard, and then they moved me over to tackle as some seniors graduated. So I actually got recruited to play tackle, and it was a lot of fun, but eventually Coach Ross persuaded me to come over to the offense, and never looked back.
Your leadership role, a senior now, what is it like on the offense, and where do you really feel like your leadership role is?
Well, it's a really incredible experience. I got an Iron Pirate shirt. What was that? Spring ball of sophomore year. I've been really honored to wear the shirt and, you know, represent some kind of leadership for the guys, especially in the weight room. You know, I'm not as vocal out on the field, but I really like to express some leadership through my actions. I'm glad you brought up the Iron Pirate shirt. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, what that really signifies? It's a great honor to have that. Tell us about that. Yeah, for sure. So I got the shirt just because, you know, I started being more vocal as a sophomore and, you know, really pushing myself as best as I could go in the weight room and out on the field. And so it's some of the characteristics that they've got to sign up in the weight room, that you're technically sound, you're positive, you're, you know, really encouraging out to the other guys. So just about every day I'm in the weight room, I look up at that sign, you know, I check myself on that list to make sure I'm still wearing the shirt. Last week, a tough loss, Sul Ross. What was going through your mind, and what did you take away from that game? You know, I know that you've been battling some injuries, so there's some things there, but what did you take away from that game, and really how do you think that's going to help propel your team coming up in Jackson, Mississippi this weekend? Well, you know, it's just one of those weeks where it's a really tough character builder. I mean, you know, it's really a team sport. You know, really, really close game, but, you know, of course you could always say if, you know, he played better, we'd be good. But, you know, it really comes down to a team effort. So we were all a little bit bitter about it on Sunday, but I think we're just ready to move past it and, really turn the ship around.
What have you been excited about most this season? I know it's tough whenever you've got some losses, but there's always things to be a little hyped up about. Maybe tell us some of those things.
Probably my favorite part of the season is just coming out, and we do Fast Friday on practice, coming out, executing well, getting ready for the game, and, the pregame routine on Saturday. We eat as a team, we travel as a team, and then we're all there together as a team in the locker room, and just that experience of being together is one of a kind.
Now, whenever, if you're injured or you can't travel with the team to a certain game, tell us about that. Where does your role still fit in? Because even if you're not at some of the games or if you're injured, where do you still fit in, and how do you still provide benefit? Because you guys do tremendously.
Yeah, so for a lot of the guys that don't travel, we end up, getting together in someone's room at a dorm room or in one of the fraternity houses. We'll throw the game up on TV, and we'll be watching it. We'll be hooping and hollering and really just having a good time. And then, as soon as the guys get back, we're all patting them on the back, win or loss, ready to go into the next week.
Awesome, man. Well, coming up, Jackson, Mississippi, if you want to say it the right way, how we were talking earlier. Where do you think Southwestern, what is their mindset right now, the football team? Where are you guys, where's the head at, and what do you got to do? What does Southwestern have to do in this ball game?
I think it really comes down to, coming out, beating them off the ball, and, we know it's going to be hot. We've been saying it all week. We've been ready for it, but this is Texas, so we're not going to be out of place in the swamp.
There you go, man. It's not going to be a swamp, too bad over with the temperature, so it's good to be down there. But, hey, man, as I ask every player, what does it mean to you to be a Southwestern University Pirate?
Well, for me, being a Pirate just means, being real selfless and being ready to put the team in front of yourself. So, as much as, I'm battling with injury, I'm ready to, talk to the next guy, hype him up, and get him to take my place, because at the end of the day, I'm just a jersey, I'm just a number. Someone else is going to do the job, and, we all got to have confidence in each other to do our jobs right. We say all the time out on the practice field, out on the game field, trust your blocks. And, you can't do anything unless you play as a team, so I'm always thinking about that.
Division III college, there's a lot of opportunities. You hear about D2s and D1s, but Division III is special. To you, what makes Division III so special?
Well, Division III really sets itself apart for me just because there's no scholarship, there's no money involved. It's all guys who just want to be there. So there's nothing people don't stay for money. People don't stay for the team or, the attention. People stay because we want to play and we really love the game.
Well, you've talked about your student teaching that you're doing now. I think we have a pretty good idea. You've mentioned a little bit, touch a little bit more on where you want to be after college, man.
Yeah, so the goal for after college for me is just to go home to Houston, find some place to teach. A lot of really good districts out there. My home part of town in Humble ISD just got a raise from Governor Abbott, so it's looking pretty good to me. I might end up there, or, maybe I'll be a Mustang at Houston Christian.
It's probably because he knew you're coming back to Houston, so he said we got to make this better here for Will and everybody else, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey, finally, camera right there on you. Who do you want to shout out to tonight, Will?
Definitely want to give a big shout out to my whole family, my parents especially. They came to every single game in my entire career, whether I'm playing or not, whether I'm dressed or not. So definitely a lot of support from them, and I really appreciate it.
Let's give them a round of applause. That is so awesome. Man, congratulations to your family, and that's just great. Well, Will, we appreciate you. Good luck. Looking forward to the future. It's so exciting to sit here with you guys and then to be able to see in the next couple of years how successful and where you're going. It's going to be amazing, man. Yeah. One last time, let's give it up for Will Spalding, the senior offensive lineman. Appreciate you, Will. We'll step aside for just a few moments. We have a couple of special interviews tonight, a little special edition of SU Football Weekly. Stay with us, friends. SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin continues in just a few moments. Well, welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Hey, a special treat tonight. We have some tennis standouts. Can we bring a round of applause for these young ladies? And we're going to talk first to Miss Nina Mitrofanova. Did I say that right, Nina?
Yeah, you said it right.
Awesome. Well, Nina, where are you from?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Do you know? Did you know Will at all?
Will, the soccer player?
Will. Oh, see, I was testing you.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, Will, there's another friend here from Houston, Texas. You know, tennis, you guys have been doing a really good job. Talk a little bit about some of your awards and some of your accolades. It's been simply phenomenal.
I just became an All-American, the most recent All-American, won the ITA, the fall ITA.
Awesome. Let's give a round of that. Is tremendous work. And what is, you're a freshman here. What has this season been like for you? And really, what's it been like to play here at Southwestern University for such a prestigious program? You know, tennis is doing well. You guys are doing great. What has that been like for you, Nina?
Everyone's been really nice. The team's really supportive. It's a really great atmosphere to have, so it's a lot of positivity all around.
What are you looking forward to, as the season progresses?
Just getting closer with the team, just playing more matches and everything like that.
Quick question, how'd you get into tennis?
I used to do ice skating when I was little, and
Okay.
then my brother, he is a figure skater, and I was never as good as him, so then I wanted to do the complete opposite, so I just got into tennis like that.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, that's the way you get there and do it. Well, getting to Southwestern, and I always like to mention this because Southwestern is a Division III college. What was that journey like going from Houston? How did you find out about Southwestern? How did you get involved?
Probably from Coach Porter. He was extremely persistent, so without him, I probably never would have joined.
Awesome. Can we give it up to Coach Porter, by the way? Coach? It's important to have teachers that are so involved, and Coach Porter does a great job along with all the other Southwestern staff. Your teammates, what have you learned from them as a freshman?
They're extremely supportive. They're super nice, and they have like a drive just to win and strive in everything they do.
Awesome. Well, Nina, as you continue at Southwestern, where do you want to be as far as your tennis career goes?
I don't know, just keep doing what I'm doing. I just want to get better at what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. Well, camera, where are we at, Mickey? Is it over here? Camera's right here. Who do you want to send a shout out to tonight?
I'd like to send a shout out to my family, to Coach Porter, Coach Miller, and the whole team, the tennis team.
Awesome. Well, Nina, we're going to continue to watch what you guys are doing. Continue the great work. We're excited about it. We'll be here with you every step of the way. Let's give it up for Nina. We'll step aside for just a second because we're going to bring Mary Cardoni on. Stay with us. We'll be right back. SU Football Weekly Coach Joe Austin continues in just a few moments. All right, friends, welcome back. We're playing musical chairs. We just wanted all the viewers to see what was happening when we shift in between. So let's give it up. Mary Cardoni up here now with us, the senior. Mary, good to have you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Senior at Southwestern. We'll talk a little bit about the great things that you've been doing in tennis. But first, just to get to know you a little bit, where are you from and how did you end up at Southwestern?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas, so not too far from here. I guess I ended up at Southwestern with the lovely Coach Porter approaching me, but with also Coach Hamilton from soccer. As soon as I decided that I wanted to play both sports in college, I pursued a school that would be something that I could do, and with great academics, and Southwestern was the school for me.
Soccer. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is soccer like for you compared to tennis? I'm assuming tennis is your favorite or not?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite. They're both my favorite, but
well, we know one of your coaches is here. Soccer coach isn't here, is he?
No, she's not here.
She's not here. Yeah, okay, good. So you could say tennis is your favorite.
That's true. I could,
all right. But so you played soccer. What was that? What has that been like playing soccer?
Playing soccer's been great. It's actually quite similar to tennis in my position that I play since I'm a goalkeeper. It's just a lot of footwork, hand-eye coordination, and whatnot. But it's been really fun. And as a senior, I'm just trying to make this season last as long as I can. So.
You know, as a senior, I always like to ask this leadership role. Where do you feel like your leadership role is? You've got underclassmen, you know, such as Nina sitting right next to you. Where do you feel like your leadership role is?
You know, as a senior, it's it's important to be a leader, and I think with the other couple seniors on the team, as long as we can acclimate the freshmen into the new culture that they have as a team, I think that's one of the best things we can do, and just show them the hard work ethic and things like that.
So let's talk a little tennis now. You know, you're sitting up here, but there's some awards behind you. All-American back in May. Was that the correct date?
Yes.
Let's give it up for that. Named All-American in May. Tell us a little bit about that, and then some other accolades.
Yeah, becoming All-American May, it was pretty cool. It was my third year in a row going to the national tournament as a singles player. So just getting there is always just such an honor to go. So I was really just enjoying it this year, and I just became an All-American, and I was like, all right, cool, awesome. So, yeah, I've had a couple of other conference honors and whatnot, but I think the most enjoyable one was becoming All-American.
What has this journey at Southwestern been like for you? You know, now you're a senior, you're starting to maybe look ahead at what's going to happen after you graduate. What has it been like to be here at Southwestern? And as I asked the guys, what does it mean to you to be a Southwestern Pirate?
I mean, it's just an incredible honor to be a Southwestern Pirate. I've learned so much throughout my 4 years here, and I continue to learn so much. Academically, I'm set up, for a great future, for a job. I start looking soon. Sports has taught me so much and has transferred into my just regular life, and it's just incredible to be a Southwestern Pirate. Awesome.
Well, as you continue this season, what are your expectations? Where do you really want to be? And as far as tennis, where do you see that heading?
I just want to be the best team that I can for this team and, do whatever I can to push our season to be the most successful it can be.
Awesome. Any other thoughts?
Got nothing.
She's got nothing. All right. Well, hey, camera right there. Mary, who do you want to say hello to tonight from Georgetown, Texas?
I just want to say hello to my soccer girls and my tennis girls and, my family and the coaches. So I love y'all.
Awesome. Well, hey, even though we talk football here on the show, anytime we can have guests from other sports, we definitely want you guys. Especially nice to have a couple of ladies here tonight to talk to. So let's give a round here to Mary and Nina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys will continue to do great things. We'll be behind you 100%. As we step aside, we'll continue as we look ahead to Belhaven. This is SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. We'll be back in just a few moments. Friends, welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Hey, before we talk to Coach, though, the Southwestern University the Pirates men's swimming and diving team, they received their 2019 SCAC championship rings earlier this month. Dr. Munt presented those rings to the Pirates before this year's inter-squad meet, celebrating last season one more time before kicking off the new one. The Pirates Conference title, the first one in program history. Southwestern will officially open its season on October the 13th at 1 p.m. on the road against Colorado College. Can we give it up for the swimming guys? Congratulations. For more information about what's going on around Southwestern University, as always, visit southwesternpirates.com. Before we talk to Coach, quickly wanted to go over our sponsors. We never want to forget them. A special thank you to Gary Brown CPA, John F. Lewis CPA, State Farm, Stephanie Featherstone, BBVA, First Texas Bank, R Bank, Texel Credit Union, Don Hewlett Chevrolet Buick, Antioch Georgetown Church, Grooveline Productions, Boomtown Escapes, Primerica Financial Solutions, Upstream Investment Partners, Stansky's Georgetown Shirt Company, HEB, the Family Emergency Room, St. David's Georgetown, Eagles Wings, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, the Georgetown Palace Theater, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, Minuteman Press, Waterboy Graphics, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Realty. I got nervous. I said, Roger, where are you at? And there he was. So, Roger, thanks for being here as always. What was that,
If you're
Coach?
trying to find Roger, he's over there checking the Astros game.
Okay. Who was up while ago?
And I went to get water. It was 4-0, and the Rays hit a home run and made it 4-1. Roger said, "You cannot go back over there." Like it's my fault.
Well, thank you, Roger. We appreciate you. Georgetown Commercial Properties, Turnip Seed Real Estate Group, Chick-fil-A, Double Dave's Pizza, Mama Foo's, Mighty Fine Burgers, Fries, and Shakes, Monument Cafe, Rudy Schloschke's, Whataburger, CJ's Catering, and CJ's Sports Bar, Wolf Ranch, Georgetown Title, Hello Georgetown Website Mojo, and the City of Georgetown. Friends, I know that is a long list, but that just goes to show you the community involvement here in Georgetown. Can we give thanks to those sponsors? We never want to forget them, and we appreciate that. As we look ahead here in this final segment with head coach Joe Austin, and we'll talk a little bit about the Belhaven game coming up. Well, Georgetown battles the Belhaven Blazers in Jackson, Mississippi on Saturday. Belhaven 1-4 overall. They're 1-3 in conference play. And the Blazers opened the season with 3 losses in a row, non-conference 14-28 loss versus Millsaps College. And then ASC plays, starting with a 14-20 loss versus Louisiana College, a 13-23 loss at UMHB. And keep in mind, UMHB ranked number 1. They defeated McMurray 46-18 to end the month of September, and then followed by a 17-28 loss last week at East Texas Baptist University. The Pirates have won both previous meetings against Belhaven, 60-31 on the road in 2016, and then, of course, last season, 21-10. You know, Coach, you look at that schedule, or you look at the record overall, and you say, this is a Belhaven team that's 1-4, but you really can't let that record dictate this team because they played very close against UMHB, of course, as we've said, ranked number 1 in the nation. Southwestern, I believe, starting their 4th quarterback in 5 games, but this is a Belhaven team that is going to be very tough. You can't count them out.
Their defense is excellent. Mary Hardin-Baylor is the number 1 scoring offense in the nation. The number 1 team also, they held them to 23 points. No one scored more than 28 against them. They've played some really good offenses. East Texas Baptist always has one of the best offenses in the country. So they're very good defensively. They have been a little bit of searching for their own identity on offense. They played a couple different quarterbacks. Hunter McEachran, their senior, had a fantastic game against us 2 years ago. Did another good job last year. We don't know if there's injuries. Of course, in Division III, you don't get a ton of information, but they played a couple different players. But they've got good skill players, one of the best kickoff return specialists in the country, and just a really good defense. And if you want to know how good they are, again, UMHB is number 1 in scoring offense, and they held them to 23 points.
Coach, we talked a lot in the first segment about injuries, of course, and not to keep spinning that wheel, but injuries have plagued Southwestern this year. How are things looking heading into this game? Has there been any improvement on that end?
Well, we're down more every week, and this week hopefully we're going to get to where we've hit rock bottom, so to speak, on those things, and we can hopefully look forward to getting a few guys back. I think this week we lost as many as we are gaining. We're going to get a few back, but we lost even more. I mentioned in the first segment we're down for sure 6 starters on defense, possibly 7. We're down 5 linebackers. And, of course, it's well documented what's going on at the quarterback position, being down to potentially our 4th different starting quarterback. Injuries at offensive line, injuries at running back. We might get 1 running back that returns. We've been missing a wide receiver all season. It's just the way it is, and we've got to find other things to talk about at some point. So hopefully we'll go out and play well, and we can talk about how the guys that we had really rallied and played well, and the players that were thrown in did great. A lot of players are going on their very first college road trip in this game. Guys that haven't traveled before. I was able to break away from our offensive session and watch a little bit of our defensive practice, and I noticed that all but one of the defensive backs were our scout team defensive backs 2 weeks ago. So they're moving up quickly. They've gone from being 3s and 4s to 1s and 2s, and it would be a great story if we could go and figure out a way to rely on the veteran players that we do have, and it'd be just a great story to talk about all the young players that came through and just got their careers off to a great start and took advantage of the opportunity when they got it.
Well, Coach, despite those injuries and some of that adversity, how were practices this week heading into this game?
They've been all right. We've got some guys that are struggling mentally, I think, to get beyond the adversity that we're having, and that's an individual thing. We've got guys that are able to deal with it and push forward and hustle and be motivated, and we've got a few that they really need to get over it and continue to move forward. But I think it's been okay. I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning. It's going to be raining and really cold, and we'll see if we can have some energy and get ready to get our last bit of work in before we get on the bus at lunchtime and head off to Mississippi.
That's definitely one positive thing. You're leaving. The front's coming in. It's getting cooler, so it'll be a nice game time kickoff there in Jackson, Mississippi, as that cold air will also be in that region as well. You're busing all the way to Jackson. I always like to ask you the travel preparation for this one, because it is no flight. This is no flights. You're busing all the way there. How does the logistics and just that preparation work for taking a team on buses that far in that distance?
Well, from a travel perspective, it's just as long as when we flew into Tennessee. It took us 9 hours to get from our campus to where we're staying in Chattanooga. It's going to take us 9 hours to get from our campus to Jackson, Mississippi. We just don't change from a bus to an airplane. It's just going to be all bus. And so with a roster of our size, you look long and hard to find a place with enough toilets to figure out where you can stop. If you stop at some place on the side of the road with the one-holer, you're going to be there for an hour, literally. So we have to plan right down to where we stop and where we eat, and there's really nothing that's not pre-planned. We know where we're going to stop on the way there and where we're going to stop on the way back, and the rooms are all pre-purchased, and we know how many we have, and everyone has a rooming assignment. So everything is planned in a very detailed manner.
Coach, I'm glad you brought up that was my question, but I scratched through it. I said, how will the restroom situation work on the travel? I'm just kidding. I didn't write that. But, well, Coach, I ask every week, keys to victory in this one.
Well, we're going to have to be opportunistic. We're going to, as I said, I guess I kind of let the cat out of the bag. Young guys are going to have to step up, and the veteran guys that are remaining are going to have to be outstanding and take some of the pressure off of them. It would be really good to win the special teams game, because that can be a really big factor in every game, but a game that I'm expecting to be a close contest. We're going to have to find a way to score on a very good defense, so some big plays would be a positive thing. And if we could get a few turnovers and short fields to help our offense that has been struggling, I think that could go a long way as well.
Coach, as always, we appreciate you, your accessibility. Even through this adversity, a lot of those young people, and that is some positive takeaways. A lot of these, you don't really want them to have to be in there, but they're getting the snaps, they're getting the reps, and they're just building more of what they need to try to help this team and win. Coach, every week also I ask your final thoughts.
Well, I'm looking forward to going and playing football, and I'm pretty sure our guys will be as well. I guess it's because I'm the old 40-year-old dude now that's been doing this for 20 seasons, but I don't like losing. It probably bugs me more than anybody. I can't stand it. But it just makes me more eager to work and more eager to get out there and more eager to work with the players that want to get better. And so I'm excited to go and play and see how it comes out. I do this job because I love the competition and I love the challenge of it. So I'm getting an awful lot of competition and a lot of a challenge. And so let's go play football.
All right. Hey, well, let's go play football. That's the final line right there. Coach, again, appreciate you. Garrett Green will actually be on the call for us on Saturday. He's been with SHN in the past, semi-professional broadcaster, so we're very excited to have Garrett. I think you'll be very pleased with his play calling, and Mickey will be down there in Mississippi along with Nathan as well. So we're very excited about the opportunity to bring that game, of course, right on YouTube. You can go to shnsports.com/SU. You'll be able to pick up that game and a video right there. So, again, appreciate everybody being here tonight. For all the Southwestern University staff, Dr. Gleda Munt, we appreciate you and everyone else here, all the sponsors, and all of you in attendance. Thank you for coming every week, and bring a friend next week, and we will continue to rock and roll. I'm Rob Hitt for Mickey Holt and Nathan Hite. This has been another edition of SU Football Weekly. We'll see you on Saturday, 1 p.m. kickoff. Go Pirates!
Hi, Mom.